Okay, I think we're good to start. We're at 303, and I see a good 42 people have already logged in. Thank you so much, friends, for joining in. Um, you know, I think let me quickly get started. First of all, a very happy New Year 2026 to all of you. I know that hopefully 2026 is going to bring you a lot of success, good health, and happiness. So, this year we thought it's not about adding more HR technology. It's about making sharper HR decisions. It's about cleaner data, tighter integrations, flexible workflows, better employee experience, and AI that delivers outcomes, not just excitement, right? I think there's a lot of excitement. It's about moving it to production. So I'm Prakash Rao. I'm the president of customer success at People Strong. My work keeps me close to where strategy meets reality, which is about adoption, about scale, about outcomes. And today's conversation is not a product showcase. It's not about people strong. It's actually a leadership conversation about how CHROs think, choose, and sequence decisions as HR technology becomes central to business outcomes. And as a prelim to this, we did a survey to almost about 400 various people from various organizations participated along with People Matters. That's a 2026 HR Tech Playbook, which is a practical guide to making sharper people decisions. Um, Cutting through complexity, it focuses on data integration and workflow maturities and AI that delivers real outcomes, right? So my role today is to ask questions that many of us probably debate behind closed doors, but we can't speak. And to discuss this with us, it's my pleasure to welcome Suresh Kumar Sivraj, who's the CHRO at Muthoot FinCorp Limited. Suresh is a veteran in this industry. He brings over 2 decades of experience leading people's strategy across banking, financial, manufactured, and other business groups. Um, Over his course of career, he's built and scaled many HR functions. Before joining Muthoot, of course, he worked with Indorama Corporation, Dhanalakshmi Bank. He also has an earlier stint with HDFC Bank and Hindustan Unilever as well. So, what stands out about Suresh, I see, is that he is an absolute practitioner. He's as close to strategy, as close to reality, as close to technology and the emerging outcomes as anyone that I've seen as well. Right. So, thank you so much, Suresh, for being with us today.
Thank you, Prakash, and good afternoon, everyone, and happy New Year to all of you. And I think mostly I have my fellow professionals, so it is going to be something interesting. But Prakash, I just want to have a disclaimer that uh, I'm going to be very frank and open about whatever I'm going to share. Sometime it may not go well with everyone. So bear with me for that. So.
No, no, we're excited to hear your candid insights today, Suresh. So please be as candid and as forthright that you normally are. Your normal self would make a lot more sense. I think we've reached a day and age where, Suresh, I think people would want to hear, people appreciate forthrightness a lot more than wanting to sugarcoat things. So please be yourself. That will be a wonderful insight and conversations for all of the people who've joined us today.
Yeah,
So let's
that's
get
great.
started.
Sure.
Let's get started. So let's move forward. What we're going to do is we're going to show a presentation, friends. These are some insights from the survey that I spoke of, which is a 2026 HR Tech Playbook. As we go through the insights, I will bring in Suresh, and we will have a lot of conversation with Suresh in terms of how he views some of these insights and what is his perspective as a practitioner who's built a high performing team, right? Now, before I get into any of this, Suresh, I would do want to give you a couple of minutes to talk about Muthoot and what you've achieved with Muthoot here, because while people would know Muthoot and the Shah Rukh Khan behind the photo that we see there for sure, but it'll be good for our all our people to hear about Muthoot and what Muthoot has done in the realm of HR.
So I'll just take a minute because people should not feel that I'm just trying to advertise the HR and our company, but I would like to tell you how the technology has helped us in terms of scaling up business, scaling up recruitment, scaling up on decision making process related to people, creating people matrices, how linking it with the business matrices, so all these things was possible because of enabling technology. So if I had to give you some numbers, so which comes to my mind is that year 2021 when I joined, we used to have around 350 400 people joining us, and 2022 we implemented people strong with us. That number today, when I talk from 350 400, my joining numbers are currently 1300 to 1400 number on an average, people hiring us, because that scaling of from 350 400 to hitting 1400 people with a seamless onboarding. And you need to know the complexity of our organization. We operate from more than 4000 locations across the country, and how can I give a seamless experience, onboarding experience for every individual who's joining, how in 5 minutes time his employee code is generated, completely e-sign. There is no document, there is no paperwork, and his employee code gets generated. His appointment letter goes to his email, you know, and everything happens in just 5 to 10 minutes time and seamlessly for anybody who's joining this organization. Okay, this is one part of it, because how we enable technology to kind of ensure our growth is happening, because this is a people industry where people make the lot of difference, so our business used to be that time 16,000 crores. As I talk to you, we have crossed 45,000 crores, it's a huge number, and similarly we have a bigger plan than this, how we can double it. So this is one part of it. How did we ensure that a transparent performance management system is available for the people who can see where they are landing in terms of their ratings, to be very objective, to be very fair, and and experience, employee experience, actually completely it was enhanced through everything is available on the mobile. You want to apply attendance regularization, leave, you want to check policy, you want to in on the go, you want to learn. So we have more than kind of 9,000 courses which is in our LMS, which is related to your functional, your soft skill, and related to your processes, which people can seamlessly use the technology for their learning. And we also have, I think, exclusively we requested people strong to create the help desk for employees, wherein we have a turnaround time. Within that, we have to respond. Whether it keeps escalating to higher authority to close the issues of the employee. So that has completely enhanced the experience of the employee. An employee wants anything, he can get. It can be easily available to the employee. So that has enhanced the employee experience. So in my background, you can see we first time participated last year, the Great Place to Work. We got certified and we got 4 awards also. For health and wellness, we are in the top 50 organization. BFSI, we are in the top 50 organization. For women, we are women great place to work for women. We are in the top 50. So in NBFC, we are on top 25. So all this has come out of the technology. Technology has created that impact and that experience for the employees to give positive feedback on whatever survey is being done. I think with that I will close, Prakash. Otherwise, I will keep talking. We will not have time. So,
No problem.
so thanks for giving that opportunity.
No, please, Suresh. I think so. See, Suresh, I've seen you from 16,000 people to more than 30,000 plus people, the way you operate. Now, one thing I wanted to understand was we all felt a decade back, HR was more in the back room, it moved to boardroom. Now, in 2026, we're talking about HR technology now being a part of the key priority list. I want to understand as a CHRO, as we head into 2026, what are your priorities? What are the non-negotiables that CHROs are focusing on? What are you focusing on as such right now?
So let me specifically talk about the technology. So what is my
Okay.
focus in terms of the technology? Let me talk about this. So my first priority is basically how this technology can enable the capability building, how it can have a seamless experience for every employee about how is his career going, where his skill sets are, where his competency gaps, where is learning available for him, where is the career progression available within the organization, so, so I feel that is the first priority for me, because the people bring in growth, within the organization, and we need to have a future ready workforce for us to ensure that we are able to deliver the business. That is, business is first priority, where the people come to deliver those business numbers. Second is employees experience, which I feel is a top priority, because it is the people industry. People are happy, they deliver more than what is expected from them. So that becomes my second priority. Third is decision making, data driven decision making. How can I have a clear dashboards which are linked? It is not single dimension, it is two-way dimension, at least two dimension or three dimension, where the HR matrices and business matrices, how we link them.
So,
Okay, how impacting on people practices can impact on the business, those matrices which help us in taking decision making. So I feel these
now
are my
sure.
important kind of focus area as far as technology deployment in the organization is concerned.
So you talking about a key thing, right? Because people are using HR technology still, Suresh, as a place to store data and to do some basics that run employee life cycle. You're talking about connecting to business outcomes. Now that seems like a big jump for a few people, right? So
Yeah.
how do you give this connection? Can you give an example? How do you connect business outcome, which is so seems far-fetched, to your HR technology?
So see, so I can give multiple kind of use cases, but let me give a simple one people to understand. So you have multiple
Sure.
products in your company, and
Yeah.
you sell these products through the branches, correct? So
Correct.
we are trying to understand which are the products in which branches is not happening.
Okay.
Is this people skill issue? I'm just getting down. Is it the people skill issues? And I am trying to focus on those products in those branches for those employees to deploy the training and then see whether it is impacting the outcome. And I will tell you,
Okay.
we were able
Mm.
to kind of activate 90% of the employees to convert that product. So it is a
Okay.
direct linkage. I'm just trying to say
Mm.
how the HR matrices can directly impact the business matrices. And we were able to show that we were able to activate that. You know, this is one of the
So great.
example. So yeah,
It's not
yeah,
just learning adoption. Through learning, you're
yeah,
saying how is my product getting adopted? Not just your
exactly,
learning product that you've launched, right? That's the
absolutely,
business outcome.
absolutely, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
so one of the things, Suresh, is now how do you get most of your HR technology, right? I think one of the things that people struggle with is that I always find a new shiny toy outside, right? So one of the jokes is that all good things in life are either unhealthy or married to somebody else or too expensive, right? So how do you get the most of what you have currently?
Yeah. So I will be very open and frank. Okay. So any HR technology available in the market would kind of take care of your 70 to 80% of the requirement. You know,
Okay.
and and you should know that 70-80% is what you want in that 70-80%. What is your priority? When I say priority means which are the modules you feel is very critical for you and which is non-negotiable. Okay. Other things I can adjust, I can have workaround, I can have some other tool top on sitting on my HRMS. But there are certain priority which we have to decide very clearly that this
So,
is what is non-negotiable and it has to be the best. So I will tell you what is very critical for me first
mhm.
when I choose a technology. One is that it should have a best PMS system.
Okay.
It should have best recruitment system because by recruitment people coming in is very important. How we can have a seamless experience. Second, how we evaluate the performance. Third is people development, which consists of basically whether I have talent management, skills and skill and career progression, succession planning, and linked with the LMS and e-learning. So these are my non-negotiable item. Yeah, obviously payroll, HRAs, other things are my hygiene factor. Okay. I don't
Okay.
feel that that's very critical for me to take a decision. But these aspects are very critical for me to take a decision. And then going deeper into what kind of feature it has, how intuitive it is, how user friendly it is the second lookout.
Hmm.
And the third is how can I integrate it with the my business application. That's again is very critical. And followed by when I have business data, HR data, how is my analytics in the system. So I
Sure.
think these are the area which I normally focus to kind of get my technology right.
Sure. So,
So,
so now,
so
now you see, you're very clearly saying that one technology, it is tough for one technology to solve anybody's problem, any large enterprise's problem, right? You've figured out a
correct.
way of looking at what are your priorities. That priority, I want a HR technology, and then you
Yes.
use your ecosystem to be able to
Yeah.
do certain things. Right now, I also know of examples where you've used not an HR system, but an internal technology that your business had to solve for a HR problem. So how does that thinking come in, Suresh? And can you talk about this use case that you've solved using a business tool to solve for an HR problem?
See, okay. So when we pick up a technology, there are two things which is always in my mind. How is it going to impact the business? How is it going to create a better employee experience or the people experience? Okay. So I will give you an example. Like we have everybody has the exit process. Everybody has the full and final settlement done. For us, no, ID card was becoming an issue. The
Okay.
ID card physically has to be submitted by the exiting employee, and it has to be basically come into F&F if that it has been cancelled. Why I will say ID is very important is a small money, but people may feel that, oh, what is their ID? You can just leave it. No, but it's not. We manage the public property in branches. And the people who have the ID card, they can enter the customer, not the customer, the employee desk, where the gold is
Mm,
stored and everything is stored. So anybody has
okay.
an ID, he can always say that I have come. And somebody is an auditor, he can say that I'm an auditor. I want to audit the gold. He can come in if the ID is with him. So it becomes very critical for us that ID should not be there and it has to be submitted back to us so that we can manage. And that was delaying our F&F process. So what we found a solution, we found that the customer KYC is being done in the branches, and we have a camera where they capture the image of the customer, and it gets stored. So we thought there is a solution available. So what we did with we used the same camera, we in-house developed an application where the branch manager will take the ID, cut the ID into two, and take the photograph, and that can be captured, that can be taken out by our F&F team, which is payroll team, from centrally. They can view that that ID card has been kind of cut into pieces and it is submitted, and they can do the F&F. So I'm just trying to say there is a solution available. There is a technology available. You have to just pick up and use it for yourself. That's how I feel we should look at, because if you expect that to be delivered by an HRMS partner, I'm so sorry, it is not going to happen. To be very
So,
frank.
so one of the things that we've seen, Suresh, is that it is very easy to change. But I mean, there's a joke that we have in People Strong is that the moment a CHRO changes, there is definitely a talk about changing HR tool as well, right? So, what is your opinion? How soon or how often, or should you change an HR technology platform? How soon, or do you say we should change, or we should keep the old one? What is your view on that?
So Prakash, so I started my first technology implementation in the year 2010,
Mm,
which was PeopleSoft. I consider
okay.
this one of the old generation HR tech. So that started, okay, and then thereafter Darwin Box, and then PeopleStrong. So three HR tech implementation in my career. So what I felt, it is so difficult to get one technology implemented in the organization, and when you have 4,000 location, you have 30,000 people who have already adopted one technology. They are very very kind of comfortable using that technology. So it's all about the employee experience. You keep changing. I think it takes a lot of efforts in terms of socializing and ensuring the adoption increases. So I feel any product you look at the market, as I said, 70 to 80% it takes care of your things. And and there are certain things which you have to build on top of it. You feel that something new is required, something more you require. I think you have to build on top of it. Okay. That is what I
Mm.
feel. Instead of changing the system, because the employee experience goes down, you don't know whether the adoption is going to increase, which is most important, because you are creating a system for the people, who should be able to use it effectively and who should get the benefit and have a good experience. Switching off technology, I don't feel that gives a solution. We actually treat this HR tech as a project. I feel we should start treating as a product. This product has this feature, it will give you this much only. If you require more than that, you need to look out for something which you can build on top of it. That's what I personally feel. Changing technology very frequently, I don't think is a good idea. But if the product is completely pathetic, we have no choice. Then you have to kind of move on and get a better technology.
I love what you said. Look at it as a product, not a project. And I like the way you showed your journey from people soft to people strong. Now, the other thing as part of this playbook we did was the maturity mapping, right? I think we did a HR maturity mapping to understand what is the HR tech maturity of organizations from low level to medium level to high level. And I've seen how you work, right? You work hard to get your organization to a place where your HR tech maturity is very high. So how have you done that? How have you been able to achieve a high maturity in the HR tech? What were the steps you took towards this, Suresh?
So I saw certain percentage just put up there. Maybe I'm not too convinced about those number, to be very frank. Okay,
Okay.
so I can say there are linkages between those numbers and those aspects. So
Hmm.
supporting high growth is my top priority, to be very frank, which is 19% yet. Okay,
Mm.
but it has a linkage with 31%, which is talking about fostering a high performance culture. I
Mm.
see a direct I see a direct linkage between these two, and they're interlinked. So when I look at the high growth organization, I need to have a very good performance management system which can align to my growth strategy. So it is linked. Similarly, when I see high HR automation process and efficiency, which is 22%, it is directly linked to the enhancing employee experience. Because I'm going to automate the process. I'm going to simplify things. I'm going to ensure that people are using the technology and they are able to get all the HR services in their hand. They don't need to go to HR, talk to them to get the data or anything they want. Everything is available with them. There's a linkage between the automation as well as the enhancing the experience, right? And and so what I feel, when we started off the HR tech, the in our mind the strategy was, how can we automate the process. Simply, how can I automate the process, how can I simplify it. Okay, next it came, how can I connect my systems. How can I integrate my HR tech with my business application, so that I have decision making becomes easy, because you have business data, you have kind of HR data. When you combine, I think the decisions are much effective. So that is how you can have integrations and you can have insights. Now I think the fourth most important thing which is coming in, or which everybody's talking about, AI, that is the topmost maturity, which is how intelligence is your system.
Mm.
How
Sure.
autonomous is your system in kind of handling employee experiences, in kind of making data decision, how the analytics are very prompting and dynamic. So I feel uh, the system maturity means from automation to best experience simplification, and then highly intelligence to take decision, and how it can be autonomous in terms of. So if I have to give an example, the hiring, for if Prakash, I had to give an example that
Sure.
we used to love kind of making JDs, then posting the JDs, and love to go enter, see all the CVs one by one, and then do one round of interview, and then happy to move to the line manager. But now that everything can be done by a machine, why do you require a human being to do that? That is the intelligence and autonomous things which I'm talking about, which will say that the system is mature.
Sure. Sure. No, so I think AI raises a lot of different questions. But before I get to AI, one thing, you said about one thing I definitely want to ask you is, On how do you justify this HR technology budget to the board? Because one of the survey questions we did, right, was who's the decision maker in the organization. Now, as a CHR, I think even on the survey on the right hand side, if we ask these people, there are people talking about limited budgets as well. Now, uh, how do you convince your board, or is the board completely convinced? They're already onboarded, or do you have to convince the board in terms of how do you manage all the other stakeholders with respect to your HR tech budget?
So, Prakash, it is very simple that I don't sell the HR tech to them, because I feel this, whatever technology I'm bringing in, it is for the business, not for the to make HR's life easier. No, to be very frank, it is about how I'm going to make impact on people. That is on the people strategy, and how I'm going to make impact on the business growth. So
Sure.
I need a technology which can smoothen it, which can basically enable it, you know, like need to have a people who are capable, who will deliver the business. So that's the input you require, right? That's the input or throughput you require to ensure that business is happening. So is that organization skill or the individuals are having those skill to deliver that business? That's one. Are the people competent? Do we have stock of all this? Where we have to work? What kind of training we have to do? Is it available handy to you? If there is no technology, you will not be able to find, right? And
Sure.
how percolate down the whole business strategy into the performance goals of everyone is very critical. You require a technology to ensure that that's being monitored, etc. Okay. Third is a summary to the executives on the top. Okay, what is happening? Business vis-a-vis the human matrices, how it is correlating, how is able to ensure that business is able to achieve the results. What are the input on the HR has given an output in the business. All this linkage with the analytics, good analytics, as only can help us to know. So it is more a business proposal than that of a HR tech proposal. So I don't think that is going
Sure.
to anybody is going to say no on this.
So basically, I think I hear you say that I think the moment you uh, I think the one key message I hear you say from the beginning, Suresh, is on business outcomes. You're not talking about HR outcomes at all. You're saying this is not an HR system, this is a business system. It's not an HR outcome, it's a business outcome. It's not a HR technology, it's a business technology, right? So everything when you're linking it to business, right? I mean, the conversations go to a completely different level because then it's not HR people, it's actually business people managing a business system, right? So then the entire
Absolutely.
paradigm of how people look at it completely changes as well. Now that's very interesting. So all of this when you have to take it down to your teams, right? Because it's great that Suresh has this vision of being able to look at this as business outcomes. When this gets translated to your team and the way they have to take it to their own stakeholders, I've seen that your team works exactly like you. I don't see any difference between you or any of the team members that we work with at Muthoot. Right now, how have you achieved that? How have you ensured your team becomes like you?
So basically, see, when we started the journey, the focus was how we will make our life easier and the employees' life easier and business line managers' life easier. No? So we were knowing that there are some automation will help us to come out of that monotonous job or that operational manual processes. So that was the first, because I always used to say, if you go for any interview in any organization and you say that I am doing this manual work, I said, are they going to value you for this? Instead of that, if
Hmm.
you say that we have worked on this HR initiative, we have worked on this aspect, and I have delivered this, you will be more valued because of what you have done in the organization, where you are coming out of the kind of manual things and working towards the strategy and working towards creating impact in people and business. So I feel everybody got aligned to it, and we had a dream that our technology will be like this and it will deliver this to the line manager and to the business. I think after that, everybody was aligned. They were knowing that it's for their development, they to grow in their career and contribute to this technology implementation. So I feel
Sure.
that is the only way which we keep working, and the whole team is aligned to it.
Sure. Now, let's switch to something else. Now, where do you think HR technology implementations fail, Suresh? Because one of the one of the surveys we did, the question that we asked, people are talking about what are the friction points for their employees and in their systems. Sometimes people don't get something as basic as data in the right place, right? Data itself becomes a problem, right? Disconnected platforms, rigid workflows, right? So there's a lot of friction there. Now,
Yeah.
according to you, somebody who's implementing an HR system today, how should they go about getting this absolutely right so that they don't get into these friction points?
So that, as I was telling you, we should know what is the outcome we want and what is our requirement. The first thing I
Mm,
feel that somewhere we assume things it will be there without
mm,
checking in the technology. We assume that this is basic, it will be available. But we need to be very clear what is the outcome we want, what is the impact we want to create in the organization through the technology, what kind of employee experience we want to create, what kind of business impact we want to create, where the linkage between the business application and the HR application, and whether the system is able to deliver that.
mm.
I think most of the time that scoping of the requirement and technology, I think we fail one. Okay. Second, the understanding of HR people and capability of HR people also is a second issue. Okay. And
Okay.
then third, obviously the data, the clean data and proper data, the historical data points, whether it is available or not, that comes third. Fourth is major, which is the major, is the mindset. Because we are
Mm,
comfortable with what we are doing. Whether it
mm.
is manual, it takes more time. Because I am day in, day out, I'm doing that. So I'm very comfortable with that. So the mindset of is this change required and am I ready for that change? That's another factor which we need to take into because it's a change management. So all those blocks comes in place. And so if all these factors, if you have clearly defined what is the business outcome, people experience outcome, and what is your non-negotiable modules and what is the outcome from there required and put that into practice. I always have a habit, any player comes to me whenever technology I have implemented, I need a proof of concept. I will give the most complicated my requirement to the person, say that show me in the system, is it able to
Mm,
deliver it or not, because we may assume in the
sure.
presentation that it will deliver, but put that into practice and see in the proof of concept they are able to show you the result what you wanted will help that helps you in terms of picking things. So I feel these are the area which I normally focus when want to get any tech in for my organization.
No, I think, interestingly, what you're saying is that, one is, of course, we need to know what is it that we want, be
Yeah,
clear of what our requirements are. That's the most important thing I hear you say. I also hear you say that I think, have the uh, stabilize your core. I think you're also talking about have an integration flow between your business systems. What is the business outcome you can to do? Fix your data. Have a clear mindset. Don't be comfortable with where you are. Think of where you want to be ready, where you
yeah,
want to get, and then you have to instrument outcomes, right? That is how I see you talking about this. Now
absolutely.
from this, let's move towards modules. There is like I think you said at the beginning that your core payroll, all of this is your basic hygiene. You expect them to be there, right? Your
Yeah.
performance, all of these other modules which you thought are the business actually can make a business outcome and how you
Yes.
look at this, right? So
Yeah.
is that how people should take a decision that have some hygiene modules and then look at what are the modules which will create a business outcome? Basis that select a platform. Is that how you would advise people to select which HR technology is the right platform for them?
Yeah, absolutely. See, basically, one is that how the human efforts can be reduced with the technology, because the technology has to go for a automation, etc., etc. Second, basically, how the employee experience is going to be. When I talk about employee experience, what does the employee expects from the organization? Do I have a fair appraisal process? So my PMS module becomes very, very critical for me. You know, then am I learning, growing in this organization? So is he clear about his skill levels, his competency level, where he is, what are the things he has to learn? Is the learning source available with us. We are delivering to him. So that's about the talent development, basically, whether you have skill, career, succession planning, etc. There, And then third, basically, my daily requirements, everything is there with me or not. I no need to always knock the HR door to know what is this, what is that. Is it available? Do I have a chatbot which can answer me immediately? I want to know what is my leave balance. Is it answering me? Instead of going to HR, knocking HR's door to know the basic things. So employee experience, whether I have wholesome system available with me to get my HR services. Yeah. And the
So,
third is, which is very critical, is analytics, because that gives executive summary. Basically, when I see analytics, I see that as a whole system's outcome. How the
mm,
system is kind of impacting the business, how is it impacting the employees, the outcome of that, the
sure,
linkage
sure.
of
So,
whatever yeah, please. Yeah, sorry.
no, no, I think no, wonderful. I think some of the things you're talking about, I think you're saying start with decisions, not
Uh,
demos, is something I picked up. And I
yeah,
also heard you talk about do POCs, which is my toughest use case, and can they look at doing POCs for me so that
yeah,
I ensure that things are there. Then you said have your core as hygiene, payroll accuracy, master data, org structure, workflows
correct,
must be boring, but they should be flawless. This is a
correct,
boring consistency you need here, is what I heard you say, right?
correct,
On the dot every single time. Then you spoke
correct.
of integrate your workflows with your business systems so that you can bring in trust, speed, adoption, um,
Absolutely.
and reduce friction between systems
So,
so
so,
that your
so what,
employees.
why? So basically, let me give an example.
Hmm,
When I'm saying integrating the data, for example, we have such a huge manpower. If I take a zonal head who handles around 2,000 to 2,500 people, he has to take decision on the people's performance. Is the data point available for all the 2,000, 2,500 people in front of him and saying that they are landing in this rating? I'm just trying to tell
hmm,
you because my HR tech has gone and picked up the business performance data, okay, as well as the target is available in front of his eyes, a mathematical calculation, and says that this person deserves this rating, based
okay.
on typical logical calculation, Prakash, without
Hmm,
getting into human emotion, human things. It is basically mathematical calculation says that this was the target. It picked up from the business data. It says this is the actuals. And with this calculation, his percentage of achievement is this much. For example, his percentage of achievement is 120%. He's landing at 4 rating. I'm just trying to say
sure,
it makes
sure.
life easy for my line manager because he's also going to look at it very, very objectively.
Hmm,
Thereafter, he has all the rights to increase. If not, no, 4. I feel this guy has put in a lot of efforts. He may, no, personally, he can increase to 5. There's no problem. But at least he has something in front of him. That's one. Second, promotions. Why should line manager come to me and ask which are my team member are eligible for promotion? I have given him a dashboard which clearly talks based on this business performance, this, etc. Your guy is eligible this time for the promotion. He no need to come to HR. He knows that this is what. So business feel empowered because the HR tech has helped and empowered them to take decisions, and help them to kind of take objective decisions.
absolutely. I think, what you're saying makes a lot of sense because, see, employees don't experience modules, they experience the workflow. The experience of flow of data is what they experience, right? So the flow is more important than the module that I'm looking at. I think sometimes we tend to over-engineer something to a point where it fails adoption. If you keep it simple, where if they can see the data moving and they can see the results in front of them in real time, that's the best case scenario from an employee perspective for sure. And I also heard you say that, use capability, unused capabilities is a waste, is not
Yeah,
sophistication. So we can buy hundreds of features, but what is important for you is one of the most critical aspects. I heard you say a couple of times for sure. So it's not about having 100 features, it's about having those 10 features which really matter to you in the way
absolutely.
that you would want,
Have
which is then connected to business outcomes. So I think while I do want to call out to all our audience that I will open out to questions that you can ask Suresh. You can go to the chat section and put your questions there. We'll moderate and ask questions on your behalf to Suresh as well. Before we do that, I want to move to the final segment on AI. Suresh, this is the new new illusion or opportunity that we have in front of us, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody's excited. I don't know, I have to be excited or I have to be scared. First question, let me ask you before anything else. Is this going to
yeah.
take away HR jobs? When your HR team comes and tells you that is this going to take my job, what is your response to them?
Okay, so I feel the AI is going to be enabler for human being to be more productive, to be doing much better things, you know. That's what I keep telling. I keep telling that AI is your partner who will ensure your buddy who will ensure that you are much better than what you are today and much capable than what you are today because you will be able to focus on things which is very critical, which is very important, which machine cannot do, which AI cannot do. I will give examples. It's so critical for us to connect with the last mile, you know. Somebody, my one customer service executive or my branch manager sitting in some village of Assam. How do I connect with him? But today I need to
Hmm.
do a lot of things. I am unable to because that is taking away a lot of my time where which I think AI can help me with, you know, so that I can connect with my employee all the time, you know. I can focus on people's development. I can focus on people's engagement. I can focus on employees retention. I can focus on good experience to be given to the employees. Calling somebody saying, "Hi, hello, you did the first sale today. You are just 15 days old in the organization. You did the first sale. It's so fantastic, you know." So that human touch which we are talking about can be enhanced because deploying of AI. So my team very well knows that it is an enabler, is a buddy. It's not going to take away your job. Actually, it is going to help you to acquire new talent, deliver much better things.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
this is what is my message to my team, and this is what I keep talking to them. You know?
Interesting. One of the things I heard, we're having this conversation internally at People Strong as well. And what I tell my team is that probably AI will not take away your job, but your job will be taken away by somebody who can use AI well. Because it seems like AI is like you rightly said, it's an enabler that I have to live with. It's like like all of us use ChatGPT on a day-to-day basis today, but can I use AI extremely well to be able to enable my workflows and employee experiences, the place that we're going to? So from an AI perspective, what is
Yeah.
one place where you think this is really going to impact over the next 12 to 18 months, Suresh? Where do you see what are the use case that you are working on from an AI perspective?
So one, I was giving you an example. I think now the recruitment process I think can completely go off. When I say recruitment, I'm saying selection part you will be there.
Okay.
Selection part you have to play, basically evaluating the candidate and maybe negotiation. This is two things in the whole process. I think you require human being, or you can say human in the loop, you know. And
Hmm.
rest of the things I think the machine can do in a much better way and more efficient way, you know, because you have JDs and I don't know. A lot of organizations are working on the success profiling of every role. So matching of that, the machine can do much better than human being going one by one CV, you know, and it can rank and it can organize the interviews and it can collect all data. It can collect all documents. It can check all documents. I think all these things are going to go off. And when I'm saying it is going off, it means we have already gone live and
Hmm.
it's in next 1 month's time the system will have stabilized and this all things is already offloaded to the machine, you know, not to
Okay.
human being.
So then, basically, you see definitely that some areas of wherever it is like a grunt work, like data work, from a recruitment perspective, that you see getting done really quickly in the next 12 to 18 months. That's what you see as a big impact, recruitment area.
So recruitment is one, I feel. Obviously, I see in L&D and also I see in employee experience, you know. So when
Okay.
I'm saying employee experience, I'm talking about currently chatbot is only of the text, you know. is anything you have, like your Jenny in People Strong, where you can ask any question and it answers from the policies, etc. We are deploying the conversational bot, which can answer it like a human being. You can ask, it can answer. So I feel that employee experience also going to be enhanced. You don't require a HR folk to answer all the queries of the employees. It can be addressed by AI, which is smart enough and intelligent enough. And also, I think virtual trainer can take a lot of load off from the human being in terms of routine training, orientation program, etc., etc. So I think for time being, I see the three, and obviously analytics. It can be very intuitive. You ask anything, it can throw to you. So these are the things I feel will really really impact.
Sounds good, Suresh. I will use the next few time to ask some questions. Interesting questions are coming my way. Some of these are really interesting. It will be good to hear your perspective on this. One of the questions is, so how has your relationship with the CI or IT leadership evolved? Right, because you seem to be more an IT person than an HR person. So how is your relationship with your CIO?
See, the, I keep telling my IT guys that the IT is Greek and Latin for me. Okay, I said anytime they use any jargon, I say, boss, bouncer नहीं मारने का है, googly नहीं डालने का है. I don't understand any technology, so please don't. I know what I want. I will tell you what I want, and you
Sure.
deploy the technology which you know. So I keep my functional expertise with me. I say your functional expertise is required for me to deliver this. So that is how I
Sure.
had been dealing, because they are the better decision maker. I cannot tell them that deploy this technology or that technology, but I tell them if this is the outcome I'm looking at, and this should be very easy, not too complicated, user friendly, and give me that outcome. That's how I deal with my IT folks.
Okay, 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 interesting. Next one is what kills HR tech adoption faster? Is it poor design or is it lack of leadership ownership?
Sorry, I couldn't get you. Can you please repeat?
What kills HR tech adoption faster? What kills an HR tech adoption in an organization? So the person is saying, is it poor design? Is that the top reason? Or is it lack of leadership ownership?
It is both, but when I put it in the priority, it is design and then leadership.
Okay, so you're saying
I
if you
will tell
design
you.
it
I
well.
I, I will
Hmm,
tell you what. Okay. When I implemented the system in Muthoot FinCorp, so we hire very ordinary people, common people from not moderate background, who come and serve our moderate customer, because we serve low and middle income group segment of people. So we require very humble people on the customer desk. So my thinking was that the adoption will be poor, Prakash, to be very frank.
hmm,
When I was working with your team, I was thinking the adoption, how it will happen, because those our employees may not be adopting this technology very fast. And they proved me wrong. And from that time, I changed my mindset that the technology, if is very easy, designed properly, made user friendly, they adopt it fast. And you can ask
hmm.
Vikas, so that time he was handling us. It was
Yeah.
90-95% we reached in 15 or I think 15 or 30 days time. The
Hmm.
adoption was at 90%. That's too high for any organization which is deploying a technology.
Sure, sure, sure. I understand. I think that this basic design, if it's done well, I think you spent a lot of time. I still remember the fights we had. You thought it could go live fast. I didn't think it could go live so fast. In spite of going live fast, I think we also achieved that adoption extremely well as well. I think that's where I think somebody designed the way you thought of it really made a big difference. Okay, this next question is a slightly tricky one. Now, based on your journey as a CHRO, what is your one people decision you now approach very differently? So if you had to go back in time, what would you do differently?
Uh, uh, See, I will tell you one thing which I learned during my journey. Mostly my proposal, whenever I used to present anything, it used to be more emotional, more with my subject expertise.
Mm,
Today I have corrected it completely. It is just data driven. Because I realize in my life, if I have to convince my business person, I need to talk his language. He should not
mm,
feel that a HR guy is talking with you. He
Mm,
should feel that my buddy is talking with me. He has his number in place. He's showing that this number can move to this number. I'm I'm done with, So I one thing which I feel that is the right approach, and it took some time for me to learn. But today when I talk, I only talk with the data and not with my expertise of being HR, and tell them that this is how the HR process happens and all other stuff. Instead of that, I present things with the data. I trust I
mm.
have answered you. I'm so sorry.
No, you have.
If you were expecting something else, whoever is the participant.
So, okay, now some interesting questions. You can um, so if HR technology budget was cut in half tomorrow, there's a mandate, cut your budget in half. What would you protect and what would you let go?
So those are the modules which I was talking about. So one is half. You should remember when my budget is getting cut to half, I will run to Prakash saying that Prakash, whatever you're charging me should not be this. Okay. The first approach will be that, so that I know exactly what is my 50%. you know, Whether I can renegotiate with Prakash and their team and say that can you please bring down some numbers, Okay. But still my focus area will be, which I would like to, because you asked a talent development, which I told you different modules, whether it is the skill, career, all those things, the talent part, the another PMS, and third, basically, obviously recruitment we require, and the fourth is basically analytics. Analytics also I can, and in-house I can do it. That top three modules is very critical for me to kind of have seamless experience and ensuring the people are happy.
Sure, sure. So another question is, this is different in a different nature. What is your approach to what is your if somebody has to become a CHRO, what are the top two or three skills you think they need to have, an HR professional needs to have if their um, ambitions to become CHRO fast, what would you say they should learn fast?
The first, foremost important, you should know your business back of your hand.
Mm,
Everything in depth. Whatever your business guys knows, you're supposed to know. That's one. Second is most important, how your prequel practices are kind of directly impacting or influencing the business outcomes. Is second thing you must have. Third,
mm.
the commitment, ownership, and hard work. Nothing can replace that. You should have that.
Oh, great. I think the commitment and ownership. So, I say commitment and courage, right? You need to have the commitment. You need to have the courage to stick to that commitment, right?
Yes.
Sometimes we have the commitment, but we lack that courage to be able to do that. Okay. Um, so there's a tricky one. Which HR process do you think people secretly prefer doing it on Excel, but they don't say it out loud? I'll only do it on Excel.
That is basically the increment. Basically, the increment. Secretly, they want to do so that nobody sees. But we have kind of deployed peer review of people strong, because I felt that everything should be kind of automated. It helps you if you create in Excel. I will give an example why I'm saying I want to automate that also. So after every performance management and increment you have done, you would like to know what is the range of salary of each role, right? Which has to help you in terms of your recruitment. What should be the minimum salary? What is the maximum salary your best performing guy is getting? So when you're hiring, you don't want to pay that kind of salary to demotivate your own in-house employee. This has to be done manually. You have to go to the system again, update the salary minimum, maximum, etc. in the recruitment module. Instead of that, if you have done in the peer review, automatically it can get synchronized and your life becomes easier, and it can directly flow from there to payroll instead of uploading. And there are chances that mistake can happen. So if you want anything seamless, I feel increment process done in peer review, push to the payroll engine runs, and outcome is there. A letter gets automatically generated. If do that in Excel, again you have to go to document merger, this, that, and all. That becomes again manual. Then I don't call it automating the process. So that's my
Sure.
my personal view.
So because I think Excel, I always tell people Excel is the most wonderful tool ever made in the world, right? Nothing can beat
Correct.
Excel, right?
Correct.
So for sure.
And there are a lot
So
of
so
people have a lot of love for Excel.
oh yeah, I love Excel as well, but then it's tough to live on Excel forever as well. So Suresh, one final question, right? I think
Yeah.
this is more what I'm asking rather than the audience. So do a think of 5 years from now, right?
Yeah.
Do a little bit of future gazing for us and tell us how do you think HR technology and HR's role in managing HR technology will change? What is your perspective, especially now that AI is here to stay?
So first, I feel most critical how to manage the technology means how to manage AI and make AI to work for you. You know, that's going to be the first foremost important skill which every HR person should have. Second, the foremost important thing for HR is that how strong you are with the EQ, how good you are in connecting with people, how good are you connecting with business, and how are you able to influence the business decisions and impacting the business for better growth for the organization. These are the things going to be critical. Basically, the human touch, business focus, data driven, and how to manage the technology, how to manage the AI to work for you. This is going to be the thing which is very critical, going to be very critical.
Sounds wonderful, Suresh. Thank you so much for your absolutely candid. I love the way you're such a real practitioner on the ground. Your realistic on the ground answers are really amazing. Thank you so much for your time. As we close, I do want to call out to all your audience that your the HR Tech mandate or the report will be in your inbox shortly. I will ensure that you get access to that. But I do want to, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one simple thought. I think 2026, like I think Suresh puts it so aptly, it's not about how much HR technology you have. It's about how do you clearly use it to impact business outcomes. That seems to be the key mantra that has helped somebody like Suresh succeed so well in such a complex organization in a complex business that he's managing. So that seems to be the clear mantra as a key takeaway for all of us. I think the organizations that move ahead will do a few things, but they will do those things differently. They'll stabilize their basics before chasing the next shiny feature. They'll prioritize integrating and data flows over excess capabilities. They will treat employee experience as an outcome over good workflows. They will want HR experience to be better rather than focusing on HR experience. Right? These are the things that I think is coming out as key takeaways from what Suresh is talking about. But I think, but thank you, Suresh, for your honesty and perspective. It's been a pleasure. And thank you, everyone who's joined us today for an open and thoughtful discussion. Have a great day. Thank you, Suresh.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Prakash.
everybody. Thank you. Thank you.